I want to ask what kind of money was possible to make in these private games, especially since it doesn't really seem like you're like really aggressively pursuing them.
No, yeah, not that important to me. So an interesting topic that kind of gets like passed around is, how many people do you think there are that make $1 million a year playing poker? My guess is probably higher than what the average person's would be. But like, I think if you're playing, 51 is kind of the cutoff, but like, especially like 100, 200 consistently, more than once or twice. I mean, more than even really just once a week. Like win rates in live games can be insane. Like I would assume the best player at every 100, 200 table has like over a 1K, hourly. 5 big blinds an hour.
What games are these? 1K hourly would be, that's...
like 20 big blinds per 100 or something.
Yeah. It's 4K... That's 4K per 100 hands. That's 20 big blinds per 100 hands. Yeah, that's realistic if the game is soft enough, but you have to, fade the rake and all of that. Yeah, I guess so. But the 4K, okay, but they still have to play a lot of sessions to get that. They need to play, let's see, so that's 25 times 10. That's 250 sessions a year. No, 250 hours. Yeah. No, excuse me. 200.
No, it's just 1,000 hours. 1K hourly, 1,000 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, there we go. Yeah, but 1,000 hours is still like probably you play like, I mean, we're not even counting hours on the side it takes to like collect and all that shit. That's important that people don't really think about. But still, I guess if you play like 8 hours on average, you need what? Like 100? You need 100?
You need 2.5 sessions a week, right? Because you need 20 hours times 50 weeks to get to 1,000 hours.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying that. That's still best player-ish, right? Or like close to the best player?
Yeah, no, I would say that that's the best player. I don't know about you, but like I think I've seen it's definitely not every game, but I've seen like plenty of games where people have like had 15 big blind per hour win rates, which is 60 BB per 100.
This in LA?
I saw this in LA. Yeah, but I've also seen this in other cities. I've seen it in London, Chicago, New York. Across no one usually has like a huge sample because like games die out. If you're getting a game for that much, it's generally unlikely they last, especially at these stakes. But yeah, I think like generally the agreed upon number is somewhere between 15, 20 people to like 200-300 are making that kind of money from like cash games. But also like, there's games that play much bigger. Like I know during WSOP, there was one private game where it was like advertised as 1-2 or 2-4 that played much closer to like 501K, where people were swinging like high 6 figures in a day. Obviously there's like the big bet mix.
Interesting. I don't know if you're referring to the that was like a very tough game actually. If you're referring to the one with like 12 different games.
Yeah, no, I was talking to Chris Crock about that game, and he was like, yeah, like I did a good win rate in that game as 1 big bet an hour, which that makes sense. But 1 big bet, when you're playing like 3K, 6K is a lot of money.
Well, the swings are pretty crazy in that game, so And I will short fucking Chris Crook at 1K big bet in a lot of those lineups. Well, the more recent ones, because the recent ones are getting pretty fucking tough, to be fair. But big bet per hour, I don't fucking think so. I don't know where the fuck he thinks he's getting that from.
He said in good games. I also didn't ask him what his win rate was. He said that would be a good win rate. So let's definitely not take words out of my mouth or so there's caveats to that.
Chris Crook's almost for sure like one of the best players in the game. I didn't think we'd be talking about mix, but just so you know, that game's gotten like fucking tough. I was sitting there thinking, man, like I don't know what the fuck am I doing playing this game? I'm like wasting my time.
I asked him to tell me about the other players, and he was like, so there's this guy, and he's pretty good, and there's this guy, and he knows all the games. It's just like everyone, like it sounds like everyone plays quite well, but yeah.
Not everyone plays that.
Well, you would know better. I'm also, trying to be diplomatic. I'm not really here to like shit talk.
No, don't be diplomatic. Yeah. This is not the place to be diplomatic. No, shit talk people. Fair,
I don't know that game nearly well enough to know, like, who the fish are.
It's too funny if you should talk just for that reason. But whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, are you willing to disclose any kind of indication of what kind of success you've had in these private games? Because it sounds like you've done very well, especially in order to like dust 300K staking people online at cash games. That was brave.
That was ridiculous. That was pretty insane. But also, like, I remember, like, I was at the age where my rent was $700. Like, it didn't matter to me if I had 10K or 100K or a million in the bank. Like, you know, I was just as aggressive with $1 million as I'd ever been with 20K. Like, it didn't click for me that, like, oh, you know, like, as your net worth grows, your risk tolerance or your risk appetite should decrease, and that, like, it might be important at some point to learn a little bit more about, like, playing defense. Yeah, I mean, I'll just say that, like, between poker and then crypto, to some degree, like, I don't feel like a ton of financial pressure. Yeah, I would assume I'm probably, like, less rich than people think I am, but I also these days don't spend as much time thinking about what people think of me. I kind of just show up, play poker when I feel like it.
Sure.
And then if I don't.
Well, I was asking, to be honest, also for the sake of, like, the audience, especially if there's like, you know, women out there watching and thinking, oh, maybe I could, you know, emulate Lynn's success, or, you know, also make however much, hundreds of thousands, million. I think you've made millions is what it seems like from live poker, but you don't have to disclose if you don't want to. Playing 100, 200 games and things like that. It's like no joke. And then
I've gotten lucky with the spots that I found myself in, for sure. And I think a mistake I made was assuming that, like, you know, those spots would continue, or that they would come up, like, more frequently than they have. But yeah, I think I think achieving a fair bit of success in poker is still, like, you know, very doable. I think it's just important to have, like, a good plan or strategy going into it. And I would say, like, that plan or strategy should usually only really be, like, either, like, to outwork everyone or to out network people.
If you happen to play some live poker, you got to know what the rake is, you got to know what realistic win rates are, you got to know this kind of stuff. Speaking of which, on the Jungleverse, we provide many resources to help many of you up and coming players in order to avoid many pitfalls that many people play, also to avoid getting cheating. We provide some details of what to look out for. We have a map of what the best online sites are to play at and why, and what kind of games you're looking for. If you want to try your luck and try to strike it rich playing tournaments, why not? The math's a bit against you. We have the resources for that too.